Welcome in, all you lot heads. It's a Monday afternoon. Yeah, that's right. I did say a Monday afternoon. I am playing hooky from work because, well, not because the Sandlots won Friday night, but because I pulled my hamstring Friday night and just needed an extra day of rest. So I am here on a Monday afternoon with you guys, with all you lot heads. I am so excited. I'm fumbling over my words this morning. Man, let's get into it real quick because we got some exciting news to bring you, some props, all this stuff. So look, I am super excited. I'm all over the place, knocking stuff down. What is going on this morning? Let's calm down. Let's calm down. It's kind of hard to tamp down the excitement when your Sandlots are 8-5 and have won 5 in a row. Imagine that. If you've been a follower of this team, it's probably kind of hard to imagine. I'm also a little under the weather this morning, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. I think we'll be fine as long as you can stand the nasally sound of my voice this morning. We'll be fine. So, all right. All that aside, let's go. You are listening to The Wrap with Dez, and I am your host, Dez Valdez. Yep. That is me, live, unscripted, and probably running on too much coffee and not enough batting practice for sure. But we've got a loaded show for you today. We're giving thanks to the fans. We're ranking the top baseball movies of all time. Well, my top 3. You can give your input. Hey, next show we'll discuss it. Why not? Let's have a discussion on these movies because we're not going to agree. It's just the way it goes. Everybody's got their own reasons and rhymes for why they like certain movies. And, you know, everybody's got a different one. So my takes on these movies aren't necessarily going to be yours. So let's discuss it. Why not? It's a great future topic. Let's go. Also, we are recapping Friday night's showdown, Sandlots versus Rangers. And a spoiler alert, just real quick, one of those teams showed up with a win or showed up to win. And the other showed up to, well, let's just say they were there. Now, look, we've got a loaded show today. We're giving thanks where thanks is due, which is to our fans. We'll get to that. We're ranking the top 3 baseball movies, my top 3 baseball movies, because we're not all going to agree, but that's okay. Let's talk about it. I'm going to start the conversation. I'm going to give you my 3, and I'm going to look forward to some comments, some disagreements, and maybe some like just random movies that are thrown there that I have not even seen. So, also, we got a recap on Friday Night Showdown, the Sandlots versus Rangers, which is what we're all here for, really, right? And spoiler alert, one of those teams showed up to play, and the other one just kind of showed up. It's late in the season. The losses are piling up. Probably a lot of frustration. But we've been there. We've had numerous seasons just like that. So while we love these guys and we love the competition and everything, it is kind of decent, kind of nice to have the shoe on the other foot, for lack of a better way of expressing that. But yeah, man, the competition that used to just mow us down is now being mowed down. So good job. And we'll get to all that. But before all that, let's just give you a quick highlight. Just, little things here and there. Sandlots came out swinging, man, like they were late for curfew. Trying to get those swings in. Let's get in, get out, get home. Well, I think we skipped a step. Get in, get out, get some beers, then get home. There you go. That is the proper order of things. So right out of the gate, pressure on the Rangers. The Sandlots post up a 6 spot in the top of the first. Man, before the Rangers even knew what had happened. Man, the Lots put up a 6 spot. A lot of bats making some contact early, and just the pitching was there. It was there for the taking, and we took advantage, especially early. Anthony Hare was on the mound, dealing like a Vegas blackjack dealer, man. Just stealing. It was awesome to watch, man. When somebody has one of those nights where they're just so on, man, that it's just a awesome watch, man. I'm playing third base and just watching Anthony Hare just pitching one of the best games of this season, if not one of the best games in his career as a Sandlot. We'll get to that. He just did a great job. We'll get more into that about the way he mixed his speeds and, just other stuff like that. But I just want to give some more props, man. Steven Terrell, DT Crimes, bringing some wood, man. Just drilling some shots out into the gaps in the outfield. Very timely hitting. I know that DT had a big hit late in the game. Probably could have been a double, but he ended up first. We'll forgive him for that because it was a win. But the Sandlots continue to tune up for the playoffs. One of the big things for manager Raspberry this week was that he kept stressing that we need to play like we're playing the Yotes every game the rest of the season. Didn't quite happen that way. A couple of miscues in the field, a couple of running errors, mental errors, but that stuff should get tightened up by the end of the season. We got 2 games remaining, and let's just say that the Sandlots have some refocusing to do. Minor things, but they'll get it done. And yeah, your boy, Dez, that's me. Yes, I finally found some barrels at the plate. Alert the media. But pump the brakes on that, folks. I did remember to hit, but my body kind of forgot how to stop running. Pulled a hammy around at third base, probably around the fourth inning. It was pretty early in the game, maybe mid, and did not finish. Manager Raspberry pulled me from the game as a precaution because playoffs are right around the corner. Thankfully, we have this next week off for the Labor Day holiday, which gives me an extra week to heal up this thing, man. Doing everything I can, throwing ice, throw some heat, throwing some holistic stuff at it. Great recommendation by my buddy Steve Terrell. Told me to get some organic castor oil and just rub it down. And so far, that's been helping. So thanks a lot for that, Steve. I am on the road to recovery. Hopefully, we'll be back to 100% here by the next game. All right. In the end, the Sandlots took care of business. The fans were rowdy. The energy was buzzing. And Friday Night Baseball Under the Lights reminded us why we love this game. All right, what's up, everybody? It's Monday afternoon. I'm sitting here, and I knew I had to do the show today because I've been slacking the last couple of weeks. But I was sitting here thinking, it's like, man, what does one do on a Monday where you're not at work and you have all your options open, and I really couldn't think of too much else other than like grabbing some breakfast or something to,
you just need Etsy,
just kill some time. But there's nowhere I'd rather be than with you guys here, and of course running my mouth, talking about things that really don't matter in this world, but that matter greatly to the Sandlots and our fans. And speaking of fans, and I'm not talking about fans that just come to the game, although, man, you guys make playing fun. Nobody wants to play for a dead crowd when all you're hearing is the whistle of the wind and the chatter of the two teams. It's just odd to play a game like that. I remember playing a game in a high school football game where a few days before the game there was a shooting incident at the high school field, and so we were made to play in the middle of a day on Friday. No fans in the stands, no bands, no music, no pomp and circumstance, just two football teams the officials and the coaches on a field in the middle of the day. The weirdest game I've ever played. It was very surreal. And yeah, so nobody likes that. We all want to have people out there rooting for us, and that's why we do this thing, is to get out and play under the lights and just play a game that we play to kids. When you were a kid, you were on the field, you had all that support in the stands, man. All the parents, the siblings, the friends that would just come hang out, because most of your parks were located in neighborhoods. I know the ones that I played, it was in a neighborhood, and so all the kids would come to the game and just get snow cones, snacks, hang out, play, and hey man, it was a great time. Even if you've never played big leagues and all you've ever played at is civic parks, where it's just friends and family at the game, man. That's what you play for. You get out there, you play the game, you hang with your friends, and then hang out afterwards. So not only is this for the fans that show up, but this is also for fans that follow us on the internet, on this whole thing that we call the interweb, that makes it so easy and accessible for you guys to sit back in your lazy boy recliner, your gallery furniture, lift assist chair, that old recliner that just kind of lifts you into a standing position. Man, Mattress Mac is one of the best. I love him. And he's got some great stuff. But that was one of the greatest commercials I remember seeing, was him getting out of that chair. Anyhow, I digress. And so the reason I mention all of this is because this is for you, all you lot heads. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment and talk to you directly. Our fans, our followers, our people. Thank you. We recently hit 140 followers on our Facebook, and then it dropped immediately to 139. So that one person, I don't know what happened, but we want you back. Please let us know where we failed you. We want you back, and we want to keep adding. So thanks for all the followers. We've got followers across all of these sites: Facebook, YouTube, Spotify for the Rap with Dez, the podcast here, fans of On Tap, Totally Amateur Podcast. Man, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep reacting, keep posting, keep sharing, keep following, and we really appreciate that, because man, it's cool. It's cool to be able to serve up a ball game, man, that you can watch from your home. And just want to mention one person in particular who is a very faithful watcher of all of our live streams. Larry Raspberry, father of Bruce Raspberry, our manager, is a dedicated watcher and one of our biggest fans. We just want to say thank you, Larry, for watching. We hope you're doing good. Blessings on your health situation, and we are always praying for you. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for coming out to the games when you can. And we just want to say thank you. If you followed the history of the Sandlots, you know it hasn't been easy. Those first 2 years, man, no more wins than 3 in a season. And that's a hard follow, but you stuck with us. And this season, this turnaround is for you. Our fans are our families, our wives, girlfriends, parents, kids. You sacrifice your Friday nights, your weekends, your time to support us. You sit through the heat, the late games, and you show us love no matter what. And that's why this season is dedicated to you. And we're working on ways to show that appreciation. Man, we got team merch, giveaways, and more. But for right now, let me just say thank you again. Thank you for being here, for believing in us, and for growing with us. Lotheads, you're helping build this team, this league, this family, and this community. Thank you. All right. Man, I've been teasing this this topic for a few weeks now, and I guess it's time I pay off on it, because I'm excited. I'm excited about baseball right now, and so I want to talk some baseball movies. All right. So, man, going through and creating this list wasn't hard for me. I don't feel like it was a hard thing to do because I know what my top two are. Actually, my top three, and that's what I'm going to give you is my top three. I heard somewhere that when you want to talk about a list of something, you should keep it to three. Anything more than that, people start losing interest. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say 5, but man, you guys have some short engagement periods. I don't know why. Some short attention spans. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to keep it at 3. And we can talk about this later on. Please leave it in the comments. Share your movies, your top favorites, your top 3, whatever you want to share. And let's talk about this. If you disagree with my top 3, or if you have a different order for them, let's talk about it. Send me a message. Let's talk. Heck, I want to have you on the show. Come in. Let's sit down. Let's have a talk. All right. I'm just filibustering now. So here we go. Wow, man. And I say wow because, man, I talked about this with someone, and, man, we went back and forth on why this was not a number 1 movie. And then I decided they have no idea what they're talking about. So my number 1, no question. Our team is kind of named after the idea of the movie, not necessarily the movie itself. The Sandlot. All right, that's my number 1. And it's everything that we play the game for at 50 years old, 35 years old, 60 years old. It's just feeling like a kid, playing a kid's game, and it just takes you to that back when you were young and you were playing with your friends. You didn't need a fancy field with plush dugouts and perfect grass. Man, you just needed a field with some grass and some dirt. No lines, no fence, and you just got out there and imitated your favorite player's batting stance, your favorite pitcher's wind up, and just, man, you may have had a tennis ball so that it would go farther. Get that bounce. But all that time spent out there, man, and you just, it's everything the Sandlot presents in this movie. First of all, it's a kid's game, and you feel like you're friends. But realizing the game is really just a backdrop. The real story is about the friendships, the adventures, the coming of age. I don't know. What is it? The coming of age moments that kind of stick with you forever. You know, the baseball in the Sandlot, it's secondary. There's no like big game culmination of the underdog or whatever. There's none of that. It's just the backdrop, the history of the game as they sit and talk with the old man. You know, it's just the backdrop. So, yeah, it's secondary. It's really about learning what loyalty and friendship mean. And every time I watch it, it reminds me of why we play the game in the first place. Okay. Number 2. And this is one I just recently watched again for like the 5th time. I'd seen this a while ago, but it just didn't strike me the same. Or maybe it did, and I just kind of forgot about it. But maybe I was in a place. Who knows? But this movie really resonated with me. I've always been a big Kevin Costner fan. Yeah. I don't know. I like him. I do like him in sports movies. I loved him in Tin Cup. And right now, nothing else is kind of like coming to mind other than these 2 movies. But for love of the game, man, this movie really hit me mentally because it was just such a I don't know, what am I trying to say? the whole arc of the movie kind of it reveals itself a little at a time, and it's not until the end of the movie where you kind of realize what all happened. Okay, because you're pulled in different directions. You're being pulled in one direction by the drama in this man's life, right? And then the other direction of the baseball aspect of it, that he has to actually go out and play a ball game. Okay, and so if you're not familiar with the movie, the plot is the guy, Kevin Costner's character, is he was just an ace prospect all of his life, just really, really good. And now he's entering the twilight of his career. Not only that, but he has just been informed as he is about to go out and pitch this game that the team is being sold. He may be traded if he decides to continue playing. So now you have three things, right? So the team is being sold. So that's just kind of, wow, okay. Well, didn't see that coming. The owner kind of blindsided him with that. And then the owner tells him that he's considering trading him, I guess for whatever reason, just kind of just let him continue his career. But he wants to stay with the team. And so he's kind of torn, at that point. I mean, he's at the end of his career and he's like, okay, I could continue with another team, or I could just call it a wrap, man, and just be okay with where I'm at now. And you would think that would be enough of a decision to occupy some space in your head before a ball game that could really just throw you off, right? But that's not it. Wait, there's more. So not only is he dealing with this drama, but he is also finding out before the game that his girlfriend or lover or whatever, his relationship is coming to an end. Partly due to his love for the game. He puts it above all else, and the love interest kind of feels slighted by that, that she's not getting it all. And, maybe he's got some things to figure out in his head, what's more important to him, but that's all coming together. I mean, it's all coming into this one decision that he has to make. And it just feels like his whole world, everything, every aspect of his life is just conspiring against him. But, and here's the beauty. The beauty is that he can't get that out of his head before he goes on the mound, no matter how much he tries. All right. So this movie is just, it goes deep inside the psyche of a pitcher, a baseball player in any respect. So Kevin Costner's character is, he's facing all these life altering news, and it just feels like his world's crashing down. Okay. And yet he has to take the mound. He has to pitch a game, and he has to find some way of just dealing with this and getting through the game. Now, in that situation, you're like, man, let me just get on the mound, do what I need to do, get out of here so that I can deal with all this stuff, right? But it's not that easy, because you, at that level, have to be super focused on what you're doing every pitch. So here is the conundrum. Sometimes in baseball, we overthink things, especially as pitchers. Maybe at the plate, but we do overthink things a lot. You get into your own head, all right? Thinking about release points, timing, what the hitter's thinking, all these things, baseball related. Yet this man is carrying all of this baggage to the mound with him. And through the game and the way the cuts are done, in between pitches, he tells himself, clear the mechanism, right? So focus, block out everything, focus on what you're doing. So the crowd noise goes silent, and all you hear is him in his thoughts. You hear the sound effects of the pitches, the grunts, all this stuff, right? And this is how he clears himself of the baseball aspect, the baseball distractions, right? the guy's yelling shade at him or whatever, you're a bum. So he's blocking all that. But what he can't block out and what he's doing in between these pitches is reflecting on his relationship. And this is a hard thing. I mean, obviously in real life it's different, but the way they shoot it, he goes back from the beginning of his relationship, how they met, and then it progresses all the way to the point where he's at now. And this is all done in between pitches, in between innings and stuff like that. So by the time the movie ends, he's thrown, I believe, a perfect game. If I'm not mistaken, he throws a perfect game. But man, it was so dramatic because the youngster just coming up, probably not even going to get a bat or start, or not even going to play into this game, runs into him in the tunnels before the game, and it feels like the ending of one career and the starting of another, because the young kid actually has to pinch it as the last batter, and you just kind of feel like he's gonna be the one that's gonna break up the no-hitter, the perfect game, and you're just so relieved when that doesn't happen. But here's the thing: all of this drama that he's got going on in his life actually distracts him from the game. He's able to put the baseball stuff away, but he's not overthinking things. He's so caught up in reliving his relationship and the decision that he has to make going forward, that's kind of consuming his thoughts at the moment. And only in between is he playing baseball. And it ends up being a perfect game. Hollywood cinema, sure, but there is a lot of fact inside of this movie, and I love it. And that's baseball in a nutshell. Overthink it and you lose your rhythm. But sometimes when life's chaos surrounds you, that's when you find your flow, because you're not distracted about the technical stuff. So it just kind of loosened him up. And man, I've been there so many times inside my own head that, man, I just wish there was something to take me out of this. And that's kind of why Bruce will come out every night and just saying, hey, man, stop thinking. Stop thinking. And I appreciate that, man. But yeah, for love of the game. And then, and then he makes the decision to make that his last game. He's done. And he does that, makes that decision for love of the game. Nice neat little bow on that. But man, just watching that movie, it's just so tense and just so, it pulls you in so many directions. The second, that was a hard one. That was a hard one to put too, because I wanted to put it number one, but nothing's going to take that number one spot from the Sandlots. Sorry. From the Sandlot.
I love all of the sounds just because.
Man, and after that, so those are two things that kind of take you back and remind you of why you started playing the game and why you love to play the game. My third pick is something that just kind of takes you away from all of that, all the seriousness, and just lets you enjoy the quirks of the game, whether it be character quirks, little funny happenings in the game, things that happen in your personal life that surround the game. Man, the Major League, from the characters to the memorable lines to just rooting for an underdog and just wanting to really stick it to the person that's trying to bring you down. I think anybody can identify with that and find a character in that movie to just be like, man, that's my guy, that's my dude right there. Man, this movie is just pure fun. It steps away from the seriousness of the game and just gives us a wild underdog story, a roster of misfits, has-beens, and never-will-be's, just brought together to lose. That was the purpose. They were brought together to lose. But they rally anyways, despite the ground crew just dumping crap on their name and saying how bad they suck, and then hopping back on the bandwagon when they start winning. Be like, oh, they win again. Oh no, they suck again. Man, it's funny, just it's great. And then you got like characters like Roger Dorn, Ricky Vaughn beefing, and the team feuding with their owner. Man, all the dysfunction in the world somehow leading to success, and it kind of parallels on that level with For Love of the Game. Wow, I never thought I'd make that connection, but just going through that, yeah, I could see how that could happen. But man, that whole franchise, well, I would say the first 1 and 2, those are my favorites. So I'm gonna loop them into one because they were just kind of a continuation. And so even though you had some new characters and stuff like that, man, Bob Uecker's lines in those movies are legendary and will be repeated throughout baseball for as long as it goes. So sure, I could have done without the romantic subplot, but what makes Major League unforgettable is the characters. Wild Thing Vaughn, Willie Mays Hayes, guys you want to hang out with, guys you want to have a beer with or on your team. It's scrappy, it's flawed, but it's got heart. And that's why it lands at number 3 on my list. Now, there were a few others that kind of were vying for that position, but man, that song is part of my youth when I was coming up, first playing advanced level baseball in like Pony Colt high school, stuff like that. So, man, my friends and I would throw these lines around, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, so that's my top 3. What is yours? Let me hear it. Leave some comments in the bottom. Shoot me an email, a message, whatever. Just let me know, because I'm sure y'all have some different ideas, and I'm down to hear that. All right, before we get to the game recap, I just want to take a quick look at the standings. There is 2 games remaining for your Sandlots in the regular season. One against the Bulldogs, and I believe we close out. I take that back. One more against the Rangers when we return August 5th, and a final game closing out the season against the Bulldogs at Benbrook High School field, which is, man, if you haven't been there, beautiful field, great facility. Man, that's gonna be a good one. So if you have the time, come out Friday night, and I believe that will be on the 12th, August 12th. I'm sorry, September 12th. Don't give me the line. Check our schedule. I'll let you know. But let's look into the standings right quick. Yeah, baby. Look at that. Sandlots improved to 8-5. The Rangers dropped to 4-8-1. And man, those Yotes just will not stop winning. But I do like that one loss there, man. That one loss, that was to us. Should be 2, and that's on me. I will forever own that last throw they gave that game away. To this day. The Bulldogs, man, scrappy bunch, man, and still afraid of them. We got 1 game left, and I just want to make sure that we don't have any slippage, because these guys can score some runs, and they really started to come together at the end of the season, really start hitting the ball. So just want to make sure that we don't fall into that trap game. One more against the Rangers, and man, actually both of these teams, they can play spoiler. We just have to be focused and remain committed to just playing every game as if we were playing against the Stros, in the words of manager Raspberry. I think it can be done. I know it can be done. So let's go get it done. All right. That is your standings with 2 games left. Oh, one last thing. Man, looking at this, 8-5, right? With 2 games left. Now, I've been hearing whisperings from down at the far end of the dugout where Anthony Hare likes to sit about this team finishing with 10 wins. Winning out, man, let's just dig in that for a second because, man, where'd I go? There you go. All right, let's bring this back up. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so look. Here it is. If the Sandlots went out and finished 10-5, that alone is rewriting the Sandlots record book, the team records. All right, a 10-win season. In order to get to a 10-win season, that means the Sandlots have to win out. Right now, I believe, don't get me wrong, but I believe it's 6 of the last 7 that the Sandlots have won, which means if they finish with 10 wins, they have gone on an 8-game win streak, which is funny because, man, the baseball gods have a way of working things out sometimes. With all the rainouts early in the season, we got all our games against the Yotes out of the way. I wish we would have won more, but it did make a path for us to have a downhill second half of the schedule, right? And not saying that Rangers or Bulldogs were any walkovers. They definitely were not. The Rangers handed us a big L midway through the season, and actually were the only team to really hit Tim Green hard. Boy, Tim and I both got shelled in that game. So, man, we're not looking past any of those teams. I'm just saying, like, the way it worked out for us to have that opportunity to play these teams that were struggling this season. All right, these are great teams that are just, man, for some reason or another, just couldn't find their way this season. And that's just the way baseball works sometimes. So, having that downhill portion of the schedule really helped out, and it's showing because man, the Yotes are just putting up football scores, man. I'm talking about 20-plus runs. And that is scary, man, because how do you stop that? You can minimize the walks, right? Minimize the walks, okay. Minimize the errors. Minimize basically everything that we can take care of. But then you've got to have strong pitching performances because these guys are going to smash the ball, and they're going to do it consistently. So, man, what do you do? Well, Raspberry Butter come up with some kind of solution quick other than, hey, we need to play against, like we're playing against the Yotes. Hey, all that smoke is great, but let's get it done, right? So, man, where does the rubber meet the road with that? What does it look like? What is the pitching rotation look like in order to man, and just in order to make it hard for them, in the simplest terms. The first game that we played against them, it was a fluke thing. I don't know what it was, but I had a fastball that was just running away from them, and they could not really hit it. And so I believe they only scored 5 runs total in the game. I don't remember how many I gave up, but I do know that talking to DT, he did tell me there was a lot of movement on that, and they were just struggling with it. Second time, not the same results. They didn't go on the hit parade that they did against these other teams, but they did get some timely, hard hits, and I just didn't feel as great about that performance as I did about the first one. So, man, I don't know. Maybe we'll get Raspberry on here to talk about what he's thinking. Who knows? All right, so something just dawned on me a little bit ago when I was kind of thinking about the run totals for the Yotes, okay? So we see these weekly run totals against the rest of the league, and it got me wondering, okay, they're putting up in excess of 20 runs a game. And I'm like, man, they're just running roughshod over people. So, like, we haven't had that experience, thank God, this season. And so it just kind of got me wondering, like, what kind of run differential, how do we stack up? And so I went back and looked at some numbers and geeked out a little bit. That's why I got my geek glasses back on. So I'm going to pull up some stats here. I know Raspberry doesn't like that word, and that is our banned word on Tap podcast. But here we give it room to breathe. So I'm going to pull up these stats real quick. Actually, I'm going to read you some stats. I don't want to put these on the board yet. So I'm going to read you some stats. I promise you, I will. I'm getting there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read you these stats real quick. Against the Bulldogs, total across 4 games, the Yotes are plus 45 runs. 45 runs. And again, that's across 4 games. And their average win margin versus the Bulldogs, 11.3 runs. So, man, wow. In the series, plus 45 runs. That is something. Okay. Now, you think, let's take a look at this one, because the Rangers are the third place team in the division right now. The Bulldogs last place with a win-loss tie record of 1-12-1, I believe, as we speak. The Rangers actually have a better record, which is why I was surprised by these stats here. So the point total differential in all games featuring Rangers and the Yotes. The Yotes are plus 57 against the Rangers in the same number of games for an average win margin of 14.3 runs. That's per game, people. 11.3 runs and 14.3 runs per game. Average win margin. Wow. Yeah. Now, okay. I brought that up to set this up because I have already peeped these numbers beforehand. Are y'all ready for this? Because, man, it's a big difference. Here we go. I'm going to bring this up for you guys right now because I can't wait any longer. In 5 games, I didn't even figure in the 5th game, which has happened, I believe, for the Yotes and those 2 teams. This is in 5 games versus us. All right. 5-game series. And you know what? This graphic is actually kind of wrong because in game 2, we beat them by that margin. So we were plus 5 runs in that game. So we should actually subtract 5 from that. But anyhow, we'll let it run. The difference is 5. So average win margin for the Yotes over the Sandlots, plus 3. Now, juxtapose that against 14.3 and 11.3 runs per game. Numbers don't lie, people. Just because we have a lesser average run difference, or I'm sorry, average margin of win difference, doesn't necessarily add up to us being the second place team, although we are. But when you compare it to those other totals, 14 and 11, well, there you can see it. And I only bring all this up because there's 2 games left in the season. 2 games left. And right now, the seeding is complete with the victory on Friday. Excuse me, guys. That victory cemented a winning season for the Sandlots and punched their ticket as the 2 seed in the playoffs. So if I'm thinking correctly, we would end up playing, surprise, surprise, the Rangers in the first series. And, you know, this has been spoken of. I've heard it in whispers around the dugout and in our post-game conversations about, man, the Sandlots just coming in, not understanding the situation and just totally taking out the Yotes. Man, what kind of wow, I mean, that would be a story. And it's not that far from possibly happening. I know, you know, hey man, it's almost a dice roll against the Bulldogs, because if you let them hang around, man, they're gonna walk through that door. I've said it before. But looking at those run differentials in those games, it would have to be a Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson situation where the Yotes just come in way overconfident, don't handle business, let these guys hang around, and then like the 4th, 5th inning, you know, they land a haymaker, a wild haymaker, and make something happen, man, and possibly just come out and just hit some balls. I don't know how. I mean, that's the only way I can see it happening. But wow, what a scenario! Because then, you know, wow, we really got to handle business against the Rangers. Now, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a 1-game playoff. Definitely a 1-game playoff. Now, I think the championship, the league championship, is a 3-game series, if I'm not mistaken. So, man, I just wanted to bring that up because that would be some wild stuff, y'all. But all I know is that looking at these standings, I want to get to 10 wins. I want to set another record for consecutive wins, and I want this team to go down as one of the best in this club's history. And it's possible. It is possible. All right. So with that being possible, it is only made possible by some of these guys that have been having some really good timely hits by guys. DT had one that he smoked to right center that was just wow. But he hit the ball hard all night, and his bat is coming around. I kind of feel like I found my swing as well. Just making a lot of solid contact lately, and man, I just hated coming out of this game, but when you pull a hammy like that, you got to come out. It's just no working. It was right in a spot where it's everything that I push off on my back leg. So swinging, throwing, there was really nothing I could do for the rest of the game. So best I just come out, take a few weeks, get recuperated because we do have playoffs coming up. But I will tell you that we do have an announcement for player of the game. That player, if you follow us on our Facebook and everything, you already know who this is. But man, this guy came out, gave us the exact kind of start that we needed, and just ate up innings, man. Ate up innings, ate up the Rangers, and did exactly what he was supposed to. Now in this league, we rarely go more than 3 innings on the mound, just because these guys will start to, figure you out. And man, at our age, it's kind of hard to do that, to go, 5 or 6 innings. And everybody was clamoring for Hair to, complete the game. But probably not the best idea in the world for a game that was pretty meaningless. So what he did accomplish in his 4 innings was 3 strikeouts and only 1 earned run. There was a run scored, but a lot of them were, throwing errors or unearned runs. Unearned runs. Let's just say that. Keep it simple. So Anthony Hare gets player of the game for his pitching performance. And man, what a performance it was. Niner getting it done. Congratulations, man. You are the player of the game. I love this little video cut up too, man. That came out really good. I'm just taking a moment to admire my work. All right. Again, congratulations, Anthony. You well deserved. Well deserved. Let's say. Anyhow. Whew. Got through it. Got through another one. Maybe heavily edited. I'm not on my A game today. But thanks for joining us. That's going to do it for the wrap today. You have been wrapped up. We opened with the highlights. We gave love to our fans. We debated the top baseball movies. And we broke down another Sandlot's big win. Didn't do too much breaking down. But hey, man, I gave you the gist. That's all we need. We're really just here to hear me talk, right? So here we are. Got that done. Lotheads, remember, this season is dedicated to you. You're the reason we play. You're the reason this team matters. And you're the reason we keep on grinding. Thanks for riding with me. Thanks for listening. And thanks for being part of this story. Until next time, go Lots.